Hey, so Brent Garrison, business consultant over at H2V. Got some really exciting news. Just got done playing golf with a client. It was a great time. Even better reason we were there, right? So partial celebration, part kind of moving forward with his future and kind of giving him the roadmap to what needs to happen next for him to grow. This client of mine, great dude, finally crossed the $1 million mark. Took him a long time to get there on his own. He's never gotten there on his own. Him and his best friend back in the day started this company around 2006, I think is what he told me. So they've been at this for a while. Been in the HVAC space for quite some time. And before he hired us, he and his partner were roughly making around $200,000 to $300,000 a year, depending on how the market was around that year. So, which is great money. That's a great start. I don't think anybody would be upset with those numbers. But as you can imagine, he wanted more. And so they finally crossed the point where they made $1 million. And I'm not talking about contract value. I'm talking about in their personal bank account, right? Their company revenue was much higher, which makes sense because if you understand how this thing kind of works, typically you pay yourself 20 to 30% of the total revenue of what your company brings in. So that was pretty awesome. Super happy for him. Couldn't have happened to a better person, to be honest. These dudes are good dudes, and I was very happy that it worked out for them. They've worked hard. They took a lot of our advice, not all of it, but a lot of it, and it worked out for them. And so, yeah, that was a pretty awesome celebration. It was pretty cool to see, too. You could tell that me and my team have rubbed off on him when it comes to taking care of your people. He was very happy and very proud to let me know that he gave everybody in the company bonuses. Bear in mind, this is a guy that, when he started this company, they started out with 4 guys. I think he only had 4 employees, maybe 5, and they were all HVAC techs. And him and his business partner, were still running jobs, running calls. And that's a huge problem. That was step 1 that me and my team had to come in and fix. When you're the business owner, you cannot be doing calls. You can't be out in the field. And it's not that you're too good for it or anything. It's that your job is to get out there and find more business, get more revenue in the door. Because if you don't, then the guys you do have hired, they're not working. And if they're not working, they're not making money. If they're not making money, they're looking to go elsewhere. So, that was the first problem we solved with these guys, and it worked out really well for them this year. So now they've grown pretty well. They've got around 20 employees now, some of those PMs, project managers, some of those guys being estimators, and a few more techs. Worked out really, really well. So now instead of trying to manage the projects and estimate the projects on themselves and put in bids and try to find them work, and also sometimes going out and doing some of the calls. I mean, as you can imagine, that's a lot of work, and there's only so many hours in the day, especially if you're 1 guy or 2 guys. So now he's got some people managing the projects, doing the bidding for the projects, and actually doing the hands-on stuff. And so he gave all those guys some pretty good bonuses. I know he said somewhere around the ballpark of giving his PMs like $25,000, $30,000 bonus, which made him feel really good, and they were really happy, as you could imagine. And obviously they started taking note and seeing like, hey, like, this company does value us. The morale is much higher in the office, he was saying today. And so he was pretty proud of that, which I was too. That means we've rubbed off on him, which is good. And he actually listened to me, and I said, hey, listen, I was a project manager. I know how hard of a job that is. It's not easy work, guys. If you're a PM now, you know that you put in a lot of hours, you put in a lot of work, you take on a lot of stress, you have hard conversations. It's not all fun and games. And but I have an opinion that the guys in the field, you have to take care of them and make sure they're appreciated, because you could have the greatest project management team known to man, but if you don't have the guys in the field doing good work, you don't really have a business. I mean, yeah, you could tell people how to do their job all day long, or you can manage a project all day long and you could manage it very, very well, but that HVAC system at the end of the day doesn't work or isn't right, or the customer's not happy because this, that, or whatever, you're in big trouble, man. Like your field team is so important. And so I said, you know, make sure your PMs are taken care of. They work hard for you. Give them a bonus, obviously, but give your field guys a bigger one. You know, give your field guys a bigger bonus. And that's exactly what he did. And I was very happy to see that. He said that the guys actually came up to him, shook his hand, and told him, man, you don't know how much we appreciate this. We've worked at other companies before and no one's ever done this. And that's the kind of stuff you want to hear. And so, as far as I'm concerned, he's more successful for doing that than crossing the $1 million line. That's just my point of view. I mean, not only does he show that he's appreciating those guys, but you know, something like a lot of people don't take into consideration is when you actually pay your people better than everybody else, and then you start giving them bonuses, and they can afford nicer homes, they can afford nicer cars, they can afford vacations, your employees end up being happy, and also it makes your community nicer, because it's maybe not nice to say, but if you have a town of people who have money, other people with money will start building things there to accommodate them because they want that money. And so next thing you know, you've got your people are happy, your community's happy, and you've got a nice community because you've contributed to making sure that they were treated and paid well. And I think that's important. So now obviously we celebrated all that, which was a great time. And then part of the trip, part of the day was talking about his next steps and what his future looks like. And man, oh man, just like that, we went from having fun to the nervousness kicked in. And it was completely normal. Started talking about, I think, his next steps for his future, for their future, and for their growth was to start looking into acquiring another business. And if you've never done that, that sounds like a lot, and it kind of is a lot, and it can be scary, and that's normal. And part of our job, and me and my team's job, is to help you control that fear, give you the warm and fuzzies. The thing is like for us, this isn't the first rodeo for our guys, so we kind of know what to expect. We know questions that are going to pop up. I mean, the truth is when you go to try to acquire a business from somebody, typically they always have the same questions. They may ask it in a different way, but it's more or less the same question. They have the same concerns. We know how to navigate these things, and we know how to navigate you in these things, because believe you me, we're going to prep you. We're going to do mock conversations. By the time you get in there to start talking to both the bank and the guy you're trying to acquire this company from, and maybe you don't even have to go to the bank. Like I said, there's ways to make it to where no bank is involved. You know, you have already prepped for this, practiced for this. I've thrown every question at you that you could ever imagine that they're going to ask, because I've seen these interviews over and over. And by the time you get in there, you're going to be fine, you know. And it's just like anything else. You know, when I was a kid, we used to have these bluffs that kids used to jump off of and land in the lake. And when I was a kid, I was terrified of that. I'd get up there and my knees would start shaking, and I'd get so nervous. And a lot of times I'd get right back down. I'd just climb back down because I just couldn't do it. And the day I finally jumped, landed in the water, you couldn't keep me off that bluff. I would go right back up and keep jumping like a crazy person. And it's kind of like this right now. Buying a company is like being on the top of that bluff looking down going, am I really going to jump? And the minute he does, and the minute anybody does, and you realize that it's not that crazy, and that it'll be okay, you're not going to be able to stop him from buying more. He's going to be like, man, let's do 2, 3, 4 at a time. And you really shouldn't do that. You want to work one at a time. It's a bad idea to try to do 3, 4, 5 at a time. And so right now I'm going to remind him, I'm going to keep reminding him, like, remember how scary this is? Remember that in the future, because you're going to want to do 2, 3, 4 at a time, but I'm not going to let you. We're going to do one at a time. Trust me on this. Because you want to do your due diligence, and you want to be thorough, and you want to make sure you're not buying lawsuits or a train wreck. And we have a way that we go about that process, and we have so many things that we put in place to mitigate risk, and we basically put a team together, and if we can't agree on it, we don't buy it, or we don't advocate them to buy it. I mean, ultimately, at the end of the day, you're the business owner, you're going to do what you're going to do, but I will give you my honest truth on it. And I have had to say, hey, this looks really, really good, but I think we should walk. There's another one out there. And there's always another one out there. So yeah, that's pretty awesome, man. I was super happy for these guys, man. They're good folks, and it's pretty, now we're at the fun part. We're at the part that I'm excited about and I enjoy doing the most. And man, the future's already looking good for 2026, and it's going to be an awesome time, man. And we're going to keep moving forward, and I'm going to keep making these videos and keep pushing forward with all this stuff, man, and just try to do the best I can for everybody that I can, and it's going to be a good year.